So you have a customer call in and they say that they're looking for an estimate. The first thing you want to do is click on the plus new estimate, scroll down just a tiny bit and click on new estimate. And that's going to bring up a new window. It's going to automatically populate all of the data that you already have on the customer. We just need to choose a category for what the customer is calling in to have service for. In this case, it's a basement remodel, bathroom remodel. There's lots of different services that we offer. So we want to be real specific on how we're targeting, how we're putting in these customers so we can track later what they're having services for. So this customer is looking for a residential estimate. It's just for residential service. They're looking for an estimate for a 100 amp replacement on their panel. So I'm just going to write estimate to replace 100 amp panel. There's no PO in this case, but if it was for a property management company, it would have a PO number. But just a regular residential customer, they do not have a PO. It's just the information that they give you. And then you're going to look on the schedule, which is going to be on the Google Calendar, to see when we have availability for this estimate. Now, typically, Felipe can do estimates anytime during the week. You just have to check in with him and see when he has room in his schedule. So you would go to the Google Calendar and you would pick a date prior to entering it into the system. So you would already have your date in mind before you went to this screen. So you want to leave estimate requested. This customer found us through Google search. There are no tags in this case. The opportunity owner is going to be the person who puts in the estimate. The on-site visit date is going to be the date that you chose on the calendar after you went over it with Felipe, or if you saw that he had room in his schedule and you just chose that date for him, he would put this date in. So we're going to choose our estimate date as the 26th. Typically for estimates, they usually take 1 hour. So we're going to give him an hour time for the arrival time, 1 hour window. And then this little box right here is how much time we think he's going to need on site. So for an estimate, I would just leave it as 1 hour. And then you always want to assign it to a technician. Right now, Felipe is doing our estimates, but there could be another technician that in the future that does estimating. You just always want to pick the technician so they get a notification sent to their phone. They also get an updated email letting them know that they have this estimate to go do. So I'm going to choose the technician as Felipe. And in this box, this doesn't show up on the customer screen, on the customer invoice, but it shows up for the notes for tech. So if there's anything that I need to relay to Felipe before he goes out for this estimate, typically most of the customers like it when the technician gives them a call when he's on the way. So I would write, please call when on the way. And then if there were any notes that I wanted to add to this or anything that Felipe had to remember for this specific service, I would put that right here in these notes. Then you scroll up to the top and you hit Save Estimate. It's just going to take a minute. It will think about it and it will save. So once that estimate has been requested, you'll then go into the Google Calendar and you will create the entry on the Google Calendar to make it on the schedule.